Hello team, welcome to another session. Today we're going to review Fuzhou regional official data and give it a meta update, as well as the event ruling. Disclaimer, this video will have a lot of text, but sit tight and go. Okay, to start off, this is our official data, of course. I have converted it into the English version for us. So for the first half, we see in terms of the Draven top cut, right? We see the 183 uses, 40 top cut, right? Irelia 62, 39 for Kaisa, 28 for Victor, 24 Fiora, 17 Sivir, 16 Master Yi, 12 Vizier, 12 Ornn, 12 Set, 11 Rek'Sai, 10 Ezreal, 10 Annie, and 10 and then moving on to the other 8 Lux, 8 Misfortunes, 7 Jax, 6 Yasuo, 6 Renata Glass, 5 Teemo, 5 Lee Sin, the Ari, 4 Rumble, right? 3 Volibear, 2 Jinx, Darius, Garen, and Leona. Something it is interesting is that, if you're playing some of these unpopular decks, especially getting to the bottom 4, right? you just gotta beat one other guy for the metal card, so something to consider, right? There's like 511 players in total. Just gotta be slightly better than like just better than half of the event, and a lot of people does drop, right? So you just sit tight and hope the tiebreaker matters, and yeah, think it is a viable strategy. Like, look at it. We just gotta be just slightly better than all of them, and maybe get lucky at tiebreakers. And if you can actually, win a game or two, it's looking pretty good. Even up to the Teemo part. Okay, so let's jump into the usage part. We see Draven taking up the lion's share, and then as we go down to the pie chart, we see everybody else, right? So mostly Draven, Irelia, Kaisa, Victor, Fiora, and then we get into the not so many deck options, the others, right? And then it gets even more crazy, as some of you might be aware. 62%, 60.5% of the top cut was Draven. We definitely have a problem here, right? And I don't know if some of you have watched the stream, but we see some of like really good players playing, Fiora, playing Irelia, playing Israel, right? And we see a lot of players that's just carried by Draven, right? We see a lot of um, not so great plays out of some Draven players, but because they're playing Draven, they're able to make it this far. And it just goes to show how strong the deck really is. Okay. And then let's jump to the other part, the ruling, right? So there's some rulings that happened at the regional. These ruling will be consistent going for the next 4 regional events. So first thing first, referee intervention. If the referee determines that a player is suspected of making an in-game operational mistake during a match, the referee has a right to intervene at any time. Inquire about the specific situation, actively correct any non-standard or incorrect gameplay action, and impose corresponding penalties and compensations. So, again, this ruling is pretty important because I know in some events where but some people are saying, oh, if your opponent doesn't correct me or whatever, the judges shouldn't be, if no concern was raised by anybody, uh, they should let the game continue. But as we see here, if action is illegal, then again the referee can intervene proactively. And then we go to the ruling and the frequently asked questions part and explanation. So, for the purple Draven, plus the Imperial Decree, plus mostly just the purple Draven Imperial Decree interaction. So, in this match, the player side plays Imperial Decree and have their recruit fight against the opponent's Draven. So what does that happen? Well, can the opponent win the battle point, 1 point from the skill of Draven? Yes. And then because so again, because your guy dies and then he triggers, right? So yes, they gain the point, which is kind of stupid, but that's just how the ruling is. I feel like there's something that they can fix, but uh, I think that's pretty stupid. But it is what it is. It's what's in the rule, right? And then another thing is, when Draven is killed by Impure Decrease effect, and the card is knocked out during the battle. Well, the effect trigger for when I die in combat, choose an opponent, they score 1 point. No, he will not. So it's just purely upside for Draven in terms of this ruling for a really strong deck. Uh, and this ruling will be consistent going into the next for regionals. In China, I don't know what will happen when it reaches to over to NA. Well, they make some changes, but I mean, it is consistent with what we have in terms of rule, but I feel like should it be this way? Might not be, right? Um, and then regarding this rule, so their official statement was after following the rules and clarification in the operations, the referee team immediately consulted the official FAQ released that day and communicated with the designers to confirm that implementation and result of the ruling were correct. Based on this case, official rule will be supplemented and clarified to ensure that the standard of ruling in Fuzhou Regional Open Season 4 tournament remain consistent. Our future ruling will follow this result. So, as of right now, this ruling is here to stay. And then we got the overzealous fan and Draven Vanquisher reverse role. So, what's the ruling here? And I think this is just again clarification. Some of us might already play like this already, but when our fan and Draven jointly defend again, at reverse row and our opponent's unit attack reverse row, in what order? Will these card and their skills be resolved? So the skills of Fan, Draven, and Reverse Row are all considered defensive triggers for this battle and triggered at the same time once their conditions are met. The defending player chooses the order in which they resolve. The skill of the fan must select the card target when confirmed, and during resolution must choose whether or not to discard cards to prevent damage. Right. So basically, and then the skill of Draven Vanquisher does not require to choose at confirmation when resolving. So you don't need to choose, and at resolving, you choose to pay to recycle or not. If the recycle is paid, then Draven gain +2 attack. And then the skill of Reserve Row must select target when confirmed, and during the resolution, you choose whether to move that target or not. Right. So. Right. So again, just some clarification. The part 3 ruling. So Draven versus the fan again. When our Draven attack into the battlefield where the opponent has only the fan defending, what order the skill of the Draven plus the fan will resolve. So of course the Draven's the attacker, so its skill resolves first. Our fan is a defender, so its skill resolves afterwards. So when our Draven attack into a battlefield where our opponent only has fan defending after the fan resolve, does the battle end? And of course it doesn't, right? The battle does not end at this point. He enters into a spell casting confrontation. And then the spell resolves phase occur after battle skills. So again, something we are used to. And then ruling 4, again, Draven plus Ride the Wind. I think this is, again, something that's pretty interesting. A spell confrontation will start because of the battle is currently in progress. Right, at this time, Draven enters a battlefield through Ride the Wind. When he gains the attack or defender identity for the first time in the battle, will the skill triggers? Yeah, so the first time that Draven uses Ride the Wind into the when they enter into the battle, the trigger will trigger. So they can proc the recycle to +2. A scale confrontation that started because of a battle is currently in progress at this time, and then Draven enters a battle to ride the wind. If in the same battle he gains attacker or defender again, will the skill trigger? No. So it just means that you can't double trigger the stats of being attacker / a defender while the battle is still in progress. So Draven cannot trigger its effect again to gain another +2. And then we'll go to the Glorious Executioner. So our champion is Glorious Executioner. Our unit moves into an open battlefield and the spell confrontation begins, or showdown begins. During spell confrontation, the opponent uses Ride the Wind to move one of their units into the battlefield. Then during the same spell confrontation, our side uses Fight or Flight to move our unit out of the battlefield. Our both side finish the spell confrontation. When it comes to time to calculate score, will the skill of Glorious Execution trigger? So no, you will not trigger. It's because the no above scenario, no actual battle took place. Just to confirm here that it says our legend our legend is Draven. Our unit goes in for a fight, right? And then at that moment they uses Ride the Wind to move a unit to the current battlefield, and then we uses in this battlefield Fight or Flight. Sorry, they're supposed to mean that Fight or Flight their units to the base, and then so if they ride the wind in, but then you use Fight or Flight to move that out, Glorious Executioner doesn't actually draw one, which is interesting. I think I'm still a little bit confused on this one. If somebody knows what this means, let me know in the comments. And then, after Ride the Wind successful resolve, a battle is triggered. After Flight or Fight is resolved, the battle is no longer considered to have occurred. So again, I don't know if it's specifically for the Ride the Wind situation. I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm pretty sure regularly when you use when your Draven's just attacking and then you use Fight or Flight, you should still draw one. But again, please correct me in the comments if I am incorrect. And then lastly, we have Skyfall of Varion and Triforce and Reckoner's Arena. So if a unit equipped with Skyfall plus a piece of Triforce, and then he completes a Conquer at Reckoner's Arena, how many points do they get? And at this particular point, they only get 2. Reckoner's Arena does not trigger, but then if their champion is equipped with the exact following equipment and they complete a hold, sorry, not a conquest here, when they complete a hold, how many arena and do they get, how many points do they get? And in this particular case, they do get 3. So you do need to hold. Sorry for the translation here, but yeah, you do need to hold. But yeah, that's it. Again, a little bit worrying in the meta, seeing the results. Chengdu is happening this weekend, and I hope maybe players can adjust. But yeah, like just looking at how some of the very good players, they have to play very good and struggling to make it to top 32, top 16 when we see some not so great plays out of an average Draven player. It just shows that this deck is quite broken, and then with some of the additional rulings, clarifications that victors might not be as good into Draven anymore as we thought, especially with the decree action. That's just terrible, right? So again, that's it for today's video. If you did like, please subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching. Have yourself a good day.